So where is this function increasing? Let's begin with that question. So look very carefully, right? When I trace over this part of the graph, what happens? The y-coordinates are getting bigger and bigger. In other words, you're going up a hill from left to right. That's why the arrows are pointing that way. So where does this begin in terms of the x? So you draw a little vertical line from the low point up to the x-axis right there. That value of x, where you hit the x-axis, that's about negative 1.5. Okay, then where you stop on the peak point, you draw down to this axis right here, again the x-axis, you see that that's a value about equal to 1. So in other words, when you input the answers here where it says increasing on the interval, that's talking only about the x-axis. So that means you're going to, for example, shade from here. So it goes as follows then. Parentheses, negative 1.5, comma, positive 1. It's increasing over this interval of x's. The y-coordinates get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like climbing up a hill. Next part then says decreasing on the interval or intervals. Okay, so look very carefully at this piece of the graph. Look at it from left to right. This is like sliding down a hill, correct? Here, I'm going to make this one red so the color matches. And now, because these blue arrows right here, you see that the y-coordinate is getting smaller and smaller here, all the way to the low point. So that begins like at negative infinity in terms of the x-coordinate. You have to really imagine that. And it comes up to negative 1.5 in that location right there. So that means you can say, for example, negative infinity is over here, and then comes up to negative 1.5. Negative 1.5 to positive 1, as you can see, the y-coordinate gets bigger and bigger because it's like climbing up a hill from left to right, so it's going bigger. But then, what happens again at positive 1 in terms of the x-coordinate, right? So that's traced in blue here. Well, over here, as you can tell, you'd be sliding down the hill. That means that your y-coordinate would be getting smaller and smaller. In other words, your function would be said to be decreasing. That's what that would correspond to. So you'd write the answer then lastly as negative infinity, comma, negative 1.5, and then U for union. So put like a little cup symbol here for your union. And then you would say 1, comma, positive infinity. And that's how you can answer this one.